Welcome to the Amarillo District 2021 to 2024 Rural Transportation Improvement Plan virtual public meeting. My name is Kit Black. I'm the Director of Transportation Planning and Development for the Amarillo District. We are here today to go over the projects that are proposed to be included in the upcoming 2021 to 2024 Rural Transportation Improvement Plan, or Rural TIP. Today, we'll go over the counties that make up the Amarillo District and all of the roads under the district's care. We will also review the basics of what is included in the rural TIP and why it is important for you to be here with us today. We will explain how the projects included in the plan are selected and classified in order to make the most of the plan. Once you have an understanding of all of this, you will have the opportunity to review all of the proposed projects and also to provide your input. We will go over funding, answering questions on where does the money come from to pay for these projects and how does the funds get distributed. Lastly, we'll outline all of the options that you have to comment on these projects and the proposed project priority. The Amarillo District includes all of the counties shown on the map. It is made up of 17 counties total. The projects that we are going to go over today that are proposed to be included in the 2021 to 2024 rural TIP are located in Dallam, Sherman, Hansford, Ochiltree, Lipscomb, Hartley, Moore, Hutchinson, Roberts, Hemphill, Oldham, Potter, Carson, Gray, Jeff Smith, Randall, and Armstrong counties. The Rural Transportation Improvement Plan, Rural TIP, is a list of local projects to be funded in a TxDOT district over the next 4 years. This means that all projects included in the plan are expected to be underway or under construction within 4 years following the plan's approval. These are the projects you can expect to go to contract in the near future. The plan is also multimodal, which means that it can include projects relating to highways, bicycle and pedestrian facilities, transit services, and freight projects, as well as the preliminary studies used to define those projects. The rural TIP is meant to show regional agreement on the need and priority level of a transportation project, so all parties involved can be sure they are making the best investment for the community. It is also expected to be consistent with the projects and objectives included in the regional long-range transportation plan to ensure that all agencies are working towards the same goal. The rural TIP is part of the statewide transportation improvement plan, or STIP. Because the plan and its rules are established by federal law, no project can receive federal funding unless it is first listed in the rural TIP. It is important for you, as well as the public in general, to participate because funding secured by this process is intended to address the local community's most immediate needs. By providing input and comments on the priority of the projects included and the projects in general, you are helping us identify regional priorities. And by reviewing the entire program in a single meeting, you have a chance to make a regional impact and help us be more effective with the funding that we receive and ensure that we are investing in the projects where we should. Rural transportation organizations, metropolitan planning organizations, and local governments are responsible for selecting projects within their boundaries. TxDOT, through the district offices, is responsible for selecting all of the projects relating to the state transportation system and other national roadways. This includes interstate, state and U.S. highways, and maybe most importantly, this can also include the farm-to-market and ranch-to-market roads that local traffic uses every day. The projects you will review today should respond to local needs. It is TxDOT's responsibility to provide you with the opportunity to give us input and feedback on which projects should be advanced and included in the rural tip. Once projects have been defined, they are evaluated according to their scale and classified according to the funding they require, as well as their potential impact. Big projects are categorized as regionally significant projects and are included in the rural tip as standalone projects. For example, a new bridge over a major river. To simplify this budgeting and planning process, smaller projects are lumped together into 11 separate subcategories and often referred to as grouped projects. Grouped projects include things such as landscaping, safety illumination, new bicycle or pedestrian facilities, things such as that. This grouping practice makes the federal funding of smaller projects more streamlined. Another example of a group project may be the pavement repair on a farm-to-market road. The map on the screen shows all of the proposed projects to be included in the 2021 to 2024 rural tip for the Amarillo district. And following this slide, we will go through each of these projects in a little more detail. Starting in Dallam County, the first project is on US 87 to improve traffic signals and pedestrian facilities, scheduled to let in fiscal year 21. And by letting, that is the phase of project where we accept bids from the construction contractors, and the project from letting moves into construction. Next project in Dallam County is on US 54. It is a preventative maintenance overlay, and it is scheduled for fiscal year 2022. Another project in Dallam County is on US 54. It is in the town of Dalhart. It includes the rehab of the existing pavement, as well as traffic signal improvements, and it is currently scheduled for fiscal year 2024. This table simply shows a summary of all of the proposed projects in Dallam County. Next, we'll go over the projects proposed for Hartley County. First, US 87, improved traffic signals and pedestrian facilities. This is a continuation of the project previously discussed in Dallam County. These two projects will go together and are scheduled to let in fiscal year 2021. Next, on US 385 is a Super 2 safety improvement project is proposed. It is scheduled for fiscal year 2021. Super 2, what I'm referring to is US 385 is currently a 2-lane highway. We will be adding passing lanes, adding Super 2 lanes at strategic locations in order to allow increased passing opportunities on that highway. Next is US 87. This project is proposed to expand the current 2-lane highway to a 4-lane divided. This is also a regionally significant project and is currently scheduled to let in fiscal year 2024. Also in 2024, on US Highway 54, in the far northern part of this county, is an overlay and a rehab of the existing roadway. This is a continuation of the project in Dalhart on US 54 in Dallam County. This table simply shows a summary of the proposed projects for the rural tip in Hartley County. Next, we'll go to Oldham County. This project is on US 385. It is actually a continuation of the Super 2 project just discussed in Hartley County. It is scheduled for fiscal year 2021 letting. Here's a summary of the project proposed rural tip for Oldham County. All right, moving on to Deaf Smith County. First project is on US Highway 60 at FM 2943 intersection. This project will construct intersection improvements as well as a traffic signal at that intersection. It is scheduled for fiscal year 2021 letting. Next project in Deaf Smith County is US Highway 60 in town Hereford. This is a rehab of the existing roadway. It's currently scheduled for fiscal year 2023. West of Hereford on US Highway 60 is an overlay of the existing road. It's also planned for fiscal year 2023. South of Hereford on US 385 is an overlay planned for fiscal year 2024. This table shows a summary of the proposed projects for the rural tip in Deaf Smith County. Next, moving back north to Sherman County. Project on US 54 from the county line to Stratford. This is an overlay of the existing roadway and scheduled to let in fiscal year 2022. Again, here's the summary of the proposed project for Sherman County. Moving to Moore County. First project is on US 87, US 287. It's through the town of Dumas and one piece just north of Dumas. It is a full rehab of the existing roadway and scheduled for 2021 letting. Next, on US Highway 87, west of Dumas, is a project to expand the existing 2-lane highway to a 4-lane divided highway. It is currently scheduled for fiscal year 2023 letting. This table shows a detailed breakdown of the projects proposed for Moore County. On to Hutchinson County. RM 2277, there's a bridge replacement project proposed, and it is scheduled for letting in 2021. Again, here's the summary of the project proposed for Hutchinson County. On to Gray County. First, on State Highway 152, this is an existing 2-lane roadway where super 2 lanes are proposed to be added. Again, that's adding passing lanes at strategic locations along this section of State Highway 152. It's scheduled for letting in fiscal year 2021. Next, on Interstate 40 is a surface treatment project. This is for Interstate 40 main lanes and is scheduled for fiscal year 2021 letting. Next project is on US 60 east of Pampa, scheduled for fiscal year 2022 letting, and it is a Super 2 project that will add passing lanes to that segment of US Highway 60. East of LaFours on RM 1321 is a proposed bridge replacement project currently scheduled for fiscal year 2022. This slide shows a summary of the projects proposed in Gray County. Next, we'll move to Hemphill County. This project is on US Highway 60 in the town of Canadian and just north of the town of Canadian. It is a rehab of the existing roadway and scheduled for fiscal year 2022 letting. Here's a summary of those projects proposed in Hemphill County. Lipscomb County. Project is on State Highway 23. It is scoped as a rehab of the existing roadway and is scheduled for letting in fiscal year 2022. Here's a summary of the project proposed for Lipscomb County. Potter County. On US Highway 87, there is a project to add turn lanes. It is scheduled for letting in fiscal year 2021. Here's a summary of that project in Potter County. There are several counties we did not mention in detail in this presentation. That is Armstrong, Carson, Hansford, Ochiltree, Roberts, and Randall. And there are no proposed projects in the rural tip planned for those counties. Now, that does not mean TxDOT will not be working in these counties. When in fact TxDOT will be working in all 17 counties. We'll be performing routine maintenance and work on roadways such as crack seal, seal coat, and other maintenance type work will be occurring again in these 6 counties as well as the other 11 in the Amarillo district. Okay, let's talk about funding. The rural TIP functions as a budget for the district, and as such, the TIP, the plan, is physically constrained. Just like the budget of a household, the rural TIP has to be realistic about the amount of money available to cover all of the needs. Frequently, more needs are identified than there is money to implement. So this means that prioritizing according to those items that are most necessary is critical. We've discussed the list of proposed projects, but now the question still remains, where does the money come from? Funding can come from really 3 main sources: the federal government through the establishment of the Moving Ahead for Progress in the 21st Century Act, or MAP 21. The federal government allocates these funds through the processes established by the Federal Highway and Transit Administration. Second, TxDOT, just like the federal government, also allocates a section of our budget for these projects through the Unified Transportation Program and the 12 associated funding categories. And third, local governments. Once the need has been identified and the amount of federal monies has been defined, the rural TIP helps local governments assess the funding requirements to match those of the federal and state government and their capacity to meet them. All right, what's the next steps going forward? The timeline above illustrates the rural TIP process and where we are currently. Once your comments have been received and considered, the district will provide TxDOT with a revised rural TIP as appropriate for approval and integration into the statewide Transportation Improvement Plan document. The statewide plan, or the STIP, is built from the rural TIP of all of the 25 TxDOT districts, as well as the transportation programs from all of the MPOs, Metropolitan Planning Organizations. The timeline above shows where the rural TIP process fits into this larger effort. Once the statewide plan, the STIP, is approved by the federal government, everyone's projects are funded and become one step closer to getting on the ground. Now that you're familiar with the plan, the rural TIP, we want to hear what you think. By going to www.txdot.gov and then searching for the Amarillo Rural TIP page, you may submit your comments online once at this page. If you would rather, you can print out a comment form and mail it back to us. Again, you can find the comment form on the web page for this meeting by going to txdot.gov and searching Amarillo Rural TIP. Instructions on where to mail your comments can be found on the comment form. And lastly, you can provide us your comments by email. The email address is shown on the screen there, ama_project_input@txdot.gov. Comments must either be postmarked or otherwise received by June 5th, 2020. So please make sure to provide us all of your comments before that date. If after this presentation you would like more information or have any other questions, feel free to reach out to the district or visit the district webpage for updates. We appreciate your time and thank you for watching this presentation We look forward to receiving your feedback.